whole WBC sanction and fees thing. As a fighter, how do you feel about what Crawford said about sanction and fees?
I mean, it makes sense, but I mean, I think he should have talked about it, before, because now he's talking about it when he don't need the WBC anymore. And he should have talked about it, way back when I said something, he should have spoke up and said something about it too.
Terence Crawford just threw the boxing world into absolute chaos by declaring war on the WBC and getting stripped of his title in the process. But while fans and fighters are rallying behind the pound-for-pound king, one man is watching the drama unfold with zero sympathy. Errol Spence Jr. has finally broken his silence, and he is not here to offer a shoulder to cry on. He's calling out the hypocrisy and reminding Crawford of a brutal truth. When the roles were reversed, the support was nowhere to be found. This isn't just a reaction, it's a receipt. To understand why Spence's reaction is so cutting, you have to understand why the WBC actually stripped Crawford. It wasn't about ducking a fighter, it was strictly about business. Crawford was set to appear on the massive Canelo Alvarez card, a fight that didn't really involve the WBC's oversight. Yet the organization still demanded their standard cut, a sanctioning fee that can climb into the hundreds of thousands, sometimes millions of dollars, just to have their alphabet soup belt on the line.
He petitioned to fight a final elimination bout in super welterweight against Madrimov and remain champion in welter. The WBC supported him. He did not comply with the rules. Then he moves up to super middle and makes the fight of the century, beats Canelo, makes $50 million or around that. The WBC absolutely is not going to charge 3% of such an amount. We made a very clear 0.6%, which is $300,000, with $225,000 going to the Jose Sulaiman Boxers Fund, which is to help former fighters in need. And it is just regrettable. Not even a thank you or I'm sorry, taking a different route, no response. I wish him the best. But this is not. The WBC is huge, it's great, it's about greatness, and I'm relieved, to tell you the truth.
Crawford flat out refused to pay this tax for a fight they weren't running. The WBC retaliated immediately by stripping him of the title. It was a bold move by Crawford, highlighting a financial stranglehold that fighters have complained about for decades.
Fuck you talking about pay you $300,000. What makes you so motherfucking better than any of the other sanctioned bodies? Huh? Answer that question. What makes you better than the WBO, the IBF, or the WBA? Everybody accepted what I was giving them. But you, the WBC, think that you better than everybody, don't you? So since you, the WBC, and you got the fucking green belt, which don't mean fucking shit. The fucking real belt is the ring belt, which is free, motherfucker. What are you talking about? You want me to pay you more than the other sanctioned bodies because you feel like you better than them. How in the world all the sanctioned bodies agreed to the same amount, but you sit your motherfucking ass up there and say that I need to apologize to you? The fuck? You can take the fucking belt. It's a trophy anyway.
This is where Errol Spence enters the chat with some serious receipts. If you rewind the clock just 1 year to the buildup of the massive Spence versus Crawford super fight, the narrative was very different. Back then, Spence was the one making headlines for aggressively questioning these exact same organizations. He went viral for ranting about the mandatory 3% cut fighters have to cough up. He publicly grilled them, asking, "Where is this money going? How is it helping the fighters out?" At the time, many dismissed Spence's concerns as distractions or just pre-fight noise. But crucially, the man standing across from him, Terence Crawford, remained relatively quiet on the issue, playing the game to secure his undisputed status.
Organizations, we gotta know where this money going to. A lot of times they can, you got Canelo and and Josh and all these guys, making $50 million, and these belts getting 3% of that. Where's it going to? How's it helping the fighters out? What are they doing with it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now that the tables have turned, Spence isn't impressed by Crawford's newfound rebellious streak. In a recent reaction, Spence made it clear that while he agrees with the message that these fees are ridiculous and accountability is non-existent, he takes major issue with the timing. In Spence's view, it's awfully convenient to start a revolution only after you've secured the bag and no longer need the belts to validate your standing. It feels less like a principled stand for all fighters and more like a personal financial decision made from a position of absolute power. The core of Spence's frustration boils down to a feeling of betrayal, effectively saying, "You didn't support me when I put my neck on the line before." This situation shines a harsh spotlight on the every man for himself mentality that plagues boxing. Spence touched on this deeper issue, noting that this financial exploitation is exactly why boxers need a union, similar to the NFL or NBA. Without a collective voice, fighters, who are the ones taking the actual physical risks, will always be subject to the whims and taxes of the sanctioning bodies. But as Spence pointed out, getting top-tier boxers to stick together when they are all chasing the same limited pot of gold is nearly impossible.
Way back when I said something, he should have spoke up and said something about it too. So I don't know, man. It is what it is.
Do you think that there needs to be a change to that system?
Yeah, definitely be changed. We definitely see, there need to be some account of where's the money going, Because, we don't know. Is it going to, because all we see is like them having, big dinners at fights and big dinners fights and, they have big, what's the things they be throwing? Big annual, conventions and things like that. So, it should be accounting of where the money going, like Canelo's huge purse, and then you get 3% of that or whatever y'all agree on. We need to at least know account of, where is some of the money going to. So we don't know where the money going. We don't know where the 3% going to.
To piggyback off of that, what do you make of TKO coming in and trying to make their own lane and change their layout?
I don't know, man. In boxing, we do need a union. We do need a union. Boxers do need a voice like other sports. So, hopefully that can happen, but it's gonna be hard getting boxers to stick together.
His frustration stems from the reality that if Crawford and others had backed him up in 2023, they might have forced real change instead of dealing with these individual skirmishes now. While Crawford is currently embroiled in this political and financial war, Spence seems to have moved into a completely different headspace since their fight. He's not stressing over belts or politics right now. In fact, he revealed he's enjoying life.
We got to get your thoughts on the whole WBC sanctioning fees thing. As a fighter, how do you feel about what Crawford said about sanctioning fees?
It makes sense, but I think he should have talked about it, before, because now he's talking about it when he don't need the WBC anymore. And he should have talked about it, way back when I said something, he should have spoke up and said something about it too. So I don't know, man. It is what it is.
Do you think that there needs to be a change to that system?
Yeah, definitely be changed. We definitely see, there need to be some account of where's the money going, Because, we don't know. Is it going to, because all we see is like them having, big dinners at fights and big dinners fights and, they have big, what's the things they be throwing? Big annual, conventions and things like that. So, it should be accounting of where the money going, like Canelo's huge purse, and then you get 3% of that or whatever y'all agree on. We need to at least know account of, where is some of the money going to. So we don't know where the money going. We don't know where the 3% going to.
Traveling and walking around at a comfortable 165 pounds, far above the welterweight limit where he made his name. He seems at peace with the past year, a stark contrast to the current chaos surrounding his former rival. Regarding his own future in the ring, Spence is keeping everyone guessing. He casually mentioned that he gets offers all the time but is in absolutely no rush to commit to a return date. He's adopting a whenever I'm ready approach, proving he won't be forced back into the ring just for a payday.
Yeah, he was trying to fight him, but I think if he boxes and uses angles and move around like he did a little bit, I think he could pull the fight off.
What about you, Errol? How you been? When we gonna see you back?
I've been good, man. Taking care of the family.
Yeah.
I don't know. I might come back. We'll see.
Have you been offered anything?
Let me see. Offer anything like what?
Like a fight?
I mean, I get offered stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Fights, shoes. I don't know. We'll see.
You liking vacation time now, though? Does it feel, maybe, hey, why do this?
It's not vacation time.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm taking care of my family. I be with my kids. My son plays sports. My two girls play sports. I be with my family. Be with my fiance, my mom, my dad, traveling the world and just enjoying life. I come back whenever I'm ready.
He's still sharply analyzing the game, breaking down potential matchups like Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez, but he's also smart enough to know his limits. He flatly rejected the idea of a circus fight against someone like Jake Paul due to the size difference, prioritizing his long-term health over a quick cash grab.
A couple weeks, I saw you, I think it was that Boots fight, but at that time, Jake Paul had a different opponent. It was Tank. Now you see who his opponent is Anthony Joshua. I know you said you wouldn't come back, and I do want your opinion on that fight, but I gotta ask, if an offer like that was made to you, like, yo, Jake Paul take on Errol Spence, would you do a fight like that, or does it have to be something that is gonna help you further define your legacy?
I don't know. I just want to fight. I mean, he is a boxer. He's a fighter. I consider Jake Paul, boxing now. Cause he in the gym with boxers. He spar boxers. So but that's out of my weight class, man. I'm not going up to 190. I'm 165 right now, and I'm not ballooning up to fight Jake Paul. Jake Paul's a big guy, and Jake Paul can punch. He got a mean right hand, so I'm good.
At 165, you're only 3 pounds away from that super middleweight limit. But that
I thought it was 160.
168 super middleweight.
Oh, you talking about 169?
Not something you'd be interested in?
For what?
168? Maybe a rematch against Crawford? You right there right now.
Oh yeah, for sure on that. But I'm not fighting no big guys, man. I'm cool on that. You gotta save your brains, man.
A prediction on that Jake Paul Anthony Joshua fight? Does Jake Paul have any chance?
I mean, I think he got a punching chance, but I'm going with Anthony. Anthony's the bigger guy. Anthony can fight. He's a big guy. Ex-Olympian gold medalist. You'd be crazy not to go for Anthony Joshua. But the odds are probably crazy. So if you do bet some money and Jake Paul win, you're gonna cash out.
Ultimately, this entire saga is a brutal lesson in the economics of combat sports. Terence Crawford is learning the hard way what Errol Spence tried to warn everyone about years ago. The belts are merely rented hardware, but the leverage that comes with having FU money is real ownership. Crawford now has that leverage and is using it to buck the system, which is potentially on the verge of a major reform thanks to a lot of people calling out the corruption in boxing.
So I do think the organizations, the sanctioning bodies, have to be a sort of necessary evil, but deals have to come to the table when you're talking about this kind of money, because like Crawford said, he's the one risking his life, he's the one taking the punches. The Ring Magazine title is free. It's the one you don't have to pay for, but it also has no power. There's no fights that are ever enforced by the Ring title. You can't. The Ring, that was always my problem with the Ring title when even in the days when HBO used to push it and stop mentioning sanctioning bodies by name and all. There was a push in the boxing media. That's why if you notice that era of fighters in the Mayweather era, there wasn't a lot of undisputed champions. It was because the fad of the day, because that's what boxing is. It's just the latest fad. That's what they go by. Today it's just cool. Tomorrow something else is cool. Back then it was uncool to go for the sanctioning body, so you didn't see a lot of undisputed champions at that time. Now the sanctioning bodies have become cool again, so you see more fighters unifying and looking to create undisputed titles. At that time, I remember HBO, ESPN, even with Friday Night Fights, they wouldn't mention the sanctioning bodies by name. They would just go by the Ring Magazine title. And my problem was the Ring Magazine title had no power. It was cool to have, but you could never enforce a 1 and 2 first fight. There was no way to enforce it. And what's worse is they wouldn't strip. They'd never strip if the main guy at the top never fought the number 1 or number 2 guys, So or if he wanted to take a year off and not defend the title at all, they just wouldn't strip him. I think the ring title also is problematic, even if it's free, So like I said, I think there's got to be a middle ground where, people have to know how to meet in the middle, and sometimes egos get in the way, and sometimes greed gets in the way.
Despite the criticism, many have been coming out in support of Crawford, praising his decision to call out the sanctioning bodies for their double standards. WWE President Nick Khan, who also happens to be one of the stakeholders in this new boxing revolution, became the latest to stand by Crawford.
Muhammad Ali American Boxing Act is in act right now. And I guess there's a lot of holes, a lot of flaws, a lot of different things that people take advantage of. There's a story this morning where Terence Crawford was stripped of his titles because he didn't pay a fee back to the World Boxing Confederation or whatever it is for $300,000. So they stripped his title because he didn't pay them that amount of cash afterwards. And so he's not the champion because he didn't pay them. They stripped him, whatever the case. It seems like really odd timing that this news gets released right now, when tomorrow, I believe, there is a conversation happening in Congress about a little bit of an evolution of this, or a revival of this particular act. And I know Zuffa is a massive piece of this, but you're not the only ones. There's a lot of boxers that are backing this. There's a lot of people in the boxing business that are backing it. There are retractors, obviously. Can you tell me about what you guys are trying to do and why people would not want you to do it that are in the boxing world?
Of course. So first of all, on the Terence Crawford side, you watched that fight on Netflix on September 13th. Terence Crawford, amazing effort against Canelo, who also had an amazing effort. Terence Crawford unanimously won that championship. So how, in fact, is it 2.5 months later that he's no longer the champion of the World Boxing Confederation because he didn't pay a fee? That would be akin to the Los Angeles Dodgers, whether you're a Dodger fan or not, having won a grueling 7-game World Series in one of the greatest Game 7s of all time. It would be like if Major League Baseball came to them and said, well, you didn't pay us a fee, so you're no longer the World Series champion. It's only in this sport of boxing where you see nonsense like this.
As for Spence, it's hard to cheer for a guy joining the picket line only after his own bank account is overflowed. It leaves the boxing world pondering a difficult question about loyalty. Do you owe it to your fellow fighters to speak up early, or is the fight game truly survival of the fittest until the very end? So, that's all from today's video. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so you never miss our upcoming videos. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments section. Stay tuned, and we will catch you in the next video.